Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome to the channel. For those who, have seen my videos before and whatnot, this is mostly a gaming channel right now. Walkthroughs, some Call of Duty vids, things like that. Um, with this video, I want to start, I would say, personal thoughts on movies I've seen. I don't want to say reviews because, I'm not really a critic or whatnot, so I'm not really reviewing the movie. I'm just going over what I felt watching the movie. And with this being said, it is going to be, as you can tell from the title, Wonder Woman 1984. Also, if you didn't read by the title, spoilers. Yeah, like, I'm just going to get straight into it. Also, by the way, if you have seen my videos before, do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe. I really do appreciate it. Me being an upcoming YouTuber, it helps me out tremendously. So do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, and hopefully you enjoy the rest of this video. Now, getting into the movie. In all honesty, I really did not know anything going into this movie, besides like watching 1-2 trailers and all the, artwork, like the posters and stuff like that, which, they were really colorful, her in her golden suit. And mind you, the only one I've seen was her and Cheetah. That's it. To be honest with you, I didn't know nothing about this movie. That I didn't even know that Pedro Pascal was in this movie. I had no flipping clue. I know it was just Christian Wiig as Cheetah, Chris Pine as Steve Trevor. I believe his name is Steve Trevor, or Trevor, Steve, whatever, same thing. And obviously Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. Only ones I really knew about. I did not know this dude even played Max Lord. That threw me for a loop when they introduced him. And with that being said, those are basically the main characters you have to focus on. Everyone else is secondary. Even the unnecessary kids. Yes, and I'm going to get to that later in the video. The unnecessary kid plot. Doesn't matter what child you put in there, it was really unnecessary. Except maybe the mall scene. That was actually kind of cute. But later on that. With that being said, I seen this movie twice, and it changed my perception the second time for, let's say, good, bad, and what could have been for better or worse. Now, from what I've read online, which is not much, mostly disappointing things about it, which is fine, because in all honesty, my rating of the movie, 5 out of 10, easy. Wonder Woman 1 was better, hands down. And that's because they told a more cohesive, solid, linear story that you could easily understand. This one just had plots that didn't make sense, especially with the characters that were underutilized and put in situations that were unnecessary, because from what my knowledge is, it's not huge, limited comic book knowledge, they didn't have these things going on. Like, what the hell? Like I said before, the good, bad, and what could have been for better or worse. I'm gonna start off with the good. Real quick, I like Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. She didn't bother me at all. I liked her a lot. For what was given in the plot, if you have seen this movie, what they were trying to achieve with her, her battling, losing her powers, her masculinity, not her masculinity, excuse me, that's for Cheetah, especially for Cheetah, excuse me. Her femininity versus her masculinity, when it comes to powers and how she's portraying fighting these men and whatnot, and how she is her feminine side with Steve, which is, to be honest with you, that's one of the stronger points of that movie. The Steve and Diana plotline, very well done in terms of that story. Like what she was trying to achieve when it came to all of that, I understood. How she tried to connect with, the wishes and stuff like that. Please wish for a better world, blah, blah, blah. That was well done, even though the predicament they put her in, just crying in the corner, was just stupid. But for what Gal Gadot brings to the table, I have no problem with her. She was solid. Chris Pine, solid as fucking always. I would watch that dude in anything. Him and Steve Trevor fucking amazing. What they did to him as the story didn't really make sense. Like it was like a double whammy for no reason. But if they do continue on, they're already talking about Wonder Woman 3. I hope he's in the story because he is like in the New 52 and whatnot. He is a major character and alive. So I want to see how they bring him back with that. Cheetah, she was a 50-50 for me. And nothing to Kristen Wiig, nothing on her part at all. She did what she had to do, and I pretty much liked it. It didn't really bother me at all. Like the transformation, metamorphosis, and her turn to Cheetah by, her attitude and whatnot. Very similar to, let's say, Catwoman. Yes, Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman. Very similar. And that was unnecessary to me, because if anyone knows the character of Cheetah in comics, she wasn't really like that. She was a hard ass. She got what she wanted. She was manipulative. She was a liar. She was a con woman in one of her story arcs. She was a very strong female character. And to them water her down like that, like I see what they try to do, and I liked it when they got to that point. But everything else before that, how she met Diana and whatnot, that was very reminiscent of Catwoman, and I believe it was the 1989 version. And mind you, I'm a fucking Batman nerd and fan. Well, not nerd, but a huge fucking fan, and I can't remember. I'm looking at my desk mat right now, which is Batman, and I feel I failed you. I'm sorry. To quote Michael Caine, I'm sorry. Anyway, I believe it was the 1989 version of Batman with, the Penguin, obviously, and Michael Keaton himself. It felt like that. It felt just like that. That transformation, that's what I've seen. That's what I got the vibes from it. Who else? Pedro Pascal. Again, he did what he had to do with what he was given. I liked him better as the con man Maxwell Lord more than the father. The father literally could have done without. Like I said, the kid was literally just thrown in there. I felt that kid thing was forced. I felt a lot of things were forced in this movie, and they were done after. Like, to quote a friend of mine, my hetero life mate, bro. He's my number one follower, my number one fucking, like, he's supporting the shit out of me when I'm doing this YouTube thing, you know what I mean? Watching my videos, comments sometimes, silliness, that's my bro. And what he said to me was like really cut and dry. It was really short. It was just, it's Justice League 2.0. And I understood that watching it the first time. Mind you, I seen the first time because I literally fell asleep. And I picked up a few days later from the second half, and I was like, you know what? I really want to do this review. I really need to get to it. I'm just gonna watch the movie in full. I did it 2 nights ago, and watching it in full changed my whole perspective on a lot of things. And it was the kid thing that literally changed it to, hey, if you still wanted to put the kid, you probably could have put it with this character instead. And leave Maxwell Lord the way he is. If you wanted to change a character, because to be honest with you, the Maxwell Lord and Cheetah totally changed. They were not like that. They didn't have no kids from what I know in the comics. Maxwell Lord, for the most part, without the child, he was still the, con man and whatnot. But he was more successful. They didn't show him, like, in the movie when he was basically broke and shit. He was more successful in the comics to the point that he didn't even have any powers until they changed the story arc, which is basically kind of the same thing. And he was basically Diana's Lex Luthor when it comes to like the business thing and being an evil overlord, whatever. Cheetah, like I said, they did not need to do that to her. Like, watching it the second time, she could literally already met Diana, because in the story arcs, like when especially Barbara and Minerva, the character they used, from what I know, she already knew Diana. She already knew Diana, and she really wanted her lasso of truth. To me, that's one of the best things about this movie, was that lasso of truth. That a little later. And back to the kid part, like I was saying, we're touching that now. The kid was unnecessary. I was thinking about the first time I watched it, put it with Barbara and Minerva, right? And her wish would be to be something strong for her child, be something, that's very protective. Hence, she was strong. She was turning into a cheetah, a apex predator. You know what I mean? Whatever the case may be, you wanted to spin that. And, have her, like, her humanity being stripped little by little as she's turning more and more into this animal. That would be her drawback, because the whole plot of this was the monkey's paw, the stone that was granting all these wishes with a drawback and stuff like that, which I think was done 5 out of 5. I mean, 5 out of 10, excuse me. They had a very interesting story with that. It's just what they did to achieve it, like what they used, the elements to send a message, air quotes, that was unnecessary. That a little later. Anyway, like I said with Cheetah, her being the mother, maternity time, if you wanted to change a character story, you could have done it like that. But watching the second movie, the kid was just unnecessary. The kid seemed forced. It looked like the kid scenes were literally shot after the movie was done. And the reason I say that, because a lot of the stories, like I said, the whole Trevor and or Steve, whatever, and Diana story felt way more, it just felt done better. Like, that was a very strong and important part. And everything else was somewhat secondary. So back to Cheetah. After watching that, like, just drop the kids. Boom, that's it. To me, drop the kids. I don't care about the kids, because the kids really didn't do nothing. The only thing I honestly felt was when, like I said, spoilers, when his child wasted his wish when they were in the office, and he was like, "Oh, you don't waste your wish for that," and he ended up doing it. He was like, "Oh, I wish for your success." That I felt, and I was like, "Oh man," because that actually, I was like, "Damn." Anyway, that was actually that was the only thing I actually felt for the child. Like the kid in the mall when she did the whole bowling thing, that was kind of cute. That was really it. Like, she tossed her into a stuffed big ass bear, which is like probably $500, which looks nice. And that was really it for that scene with the kid. That was cute. All right, Bronx kid. Then the other kids, what was it? During the riots, the mom was shielding the kids, and then what was the other one? Near the end when I don't know how. It didn't even seem like they threw anything at her. She just ended up looking back. The kids with the snowball at the end when she meets, like I said, the double whammy, which I didn't like. The Steve Trevor body double, whatever the case. Like, Cheetah was underutilized. I'm gonna get back to her in a little bit. I just want to finish this part with Steve and Trevor. So, I like the story that they had when they were together. Her and Chris Pine were together. It was great. Their chemistry, nice. You actually feel like, they were in love. They were passionate about each other. They really missed each other and they really wanted to be together. All that stuff. You feel that. What I disliked is the double whammy that they put using this dreamstone thing, her wish. And it was like, really, not only she lost her powers. Like, this was my train of thought in the beginning. In the first time I viewed this. Not only she's losing her powers, right? She's basically becoming human. But Steve Trevor is stuck in someone else's body regardless. Sure, all she could see is him, but don't you notice all the dangers you're dragging this man through in someone else's body? Like, when they went and stole which I don't even know how the fuck she just went in and stole the shit. Like the jet, which I think they underutilized her fucking powers, the invisible jet, that was just dumb. Like, it was nice for the moment, but the fact that you don't see it anywhere else afterwards, silly. Which was stupid, because they could have used that same exact thing near the end. I'll get back to that in a bit. Now, besides underutilizing that power in that scene was pretty nice. It looked very nice, with the fireworks and whatnot. And, the whole callback with her flying and whatnot later in the movie. But the fact that this dude was basically in someone else's body and she was losing her powers regardless didn't seem to really connect. Because why couldn't she just have one instead of two? Like I said, the double whammy. But I guess because her being a god, like, maybe her wish, bring back the dead or whatever the case, had more repercussions than a normal wish. I don't know how that goes, but still, like, that was just silly. I was just thinking, why couldn't she use her powers the second time? Excuse me, the second time I watched this movie, to make it simpler. The reason she's using her powers is because she's powering him to stay alive. Like, instead of bringing the extra dude there, which I understand the plot that they told with the other guy, I get that. That seems a little forced, especially with the ending. But like, as soon as she leaves him and she goes to fly, like, you see her Wolverine back up and whatever. That could have been him disappearing. Period. That's how she got her powers back, and then he disappears. Boom. That's how you end it. That's it. You know, no guy at the end with the fucking forced Christmas ending. Like, that was just dumb. But yeah, sure, you're coming out on Christmas and you're gonna put that at the end of the movie? Come on. If I remember correctly, when you were in the jet, it was July 4th. You're telling me all that happened within that week, then you just skip 6 months later? Okay, sure. That, I understand movies do that, but that seems really forced. Like I said, with that, you could totally bypass that ending. Again, skip the kids. And that's it. You just how you end the love thing with Diana and Steve. I'm gonna call him Steve or Trevor. It's basically his name anyway. It's just weird having two first names. Anyway, so besides from that, I like that story arc. And the fact that she was losing her power and this girl wished to be her. That's how she get her godlike powers. That felt like a third one. Because she was like, alright, she's siphoning off her powers to this woman who's basically strong as a god, to this dude, which is in some, like, she just had the worst of it when it came to the wish, in all honesty. And I get that because she's the protagonist, she's the hero. So the more she could deal with and strong, have a stronger message when she defeats all of that, or she bypasses it, whatever the case may be. I get it, but goddamn, they just a whole lot. And the first time I really didn't get it until they actually explained it, and I was like, oh, because it was just the point when I forgot what she was breaking into. Oh, I think it was into black gold that they were trying to find a stone that she couldn't even break the lock. He was like, oh, I'm strong lock. I was like, I don't get that. But then that's when I understood, like, later on, oh, she was feeding her. I mean, she was losing her powers or whatever. Besides that, like, I understood that and that was fine. Now, quick wrap up of Cheetah. To be honest with you, that made no sense. You could literally just use her backstory. How she really wanted Wonder Woman's last of truth. And she obviously already knew that Wonder Woman and Diana were one and the same. And by using her work, she actually coerced her into almost giving her the, stuff. And like the whole, like, they could have done it just kind of like the comics, or use the comics as a reference as to how she was turning into the cheetah. Because basically, when she was turning into the cheetah, it was the god of the hunt type of thing. How, like, in her second story, she was part of a cult, and the cult had her sacrifice herself, and she turned into a cheetah, whatever the case may be. Why they couldn't catch something like that? Because she had the powers of a god of the hunt, and hence the reason she had all those abilities and whatnot. Instead of trying to make her be, oh, I wish to be like her, which is cool and sexy and all that. Like, what? She could have already had that at the beginning. Already enforced that whole femininity that women are strong regardless. And that you could see the rivalry between her and Diana. Hello, she's her arch enemy, right? So why have her start off on a weaker spot, then get strong for that moment, that little burst, and then get weaker at the end? Which, again, didn't really make sense as well at the end. The whole wishing system did not make sense whatsoever. I don't give a shit. Okay? Regardless of how, if he became the wish, that's when he was able to, like, grant anybody's wish or whatever the case, regardless of numbers, restrictions, or they already had that in place. It was just at the time they only wished for one wish and whatever. Like, that didn't make any sense. Like, I get what they're trying to do with it, but yeah. So with Cheetah, I just wish that they used her background in the comics as an actual reference as to, how she got the powers. Maybe she wished for them or something like that. You know what I mean? Maybe that was an inspiration. Like, I wish I could be the goddess of the hunt. Hence, the drawback is she's turning into a fucking cheetah. And she has the powers to keep up with Diana, whatever. She didn't have to do the whole, which one? I don't need to give up the wish or whatever case. Like, fuck it. Like, that'd have been fine. There you go. Instead of giving her this Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman, oh, I'm weak and nobody likes me, I'm not popular, whateverness. And then that whole forced dinner scene with her and Cheetah, like, it made no sense. Like, I don't know why they try to reaffirm how weak she was. Oh my god, you're strong, you're personable, you're this and you're that. And I was like, alright, these are just forced compliments that, that just cuts down the runtime tremendously. Be honest with you, like, that was unnecessary. Because like I said, you wouldn't need that if you already put the fact that they already knew each other at work, hence the comics. Okay? But like I said, that was just me. To Maxwell Lord, like I said, cut the kid and have him be that Lex Luthor type billionaire. I did like the fact that, he would use his money and influence in order to find the stone. Like, the whole setup to the stone was a little choppy. Like, fine, I'll accept it. Jewelry store, it was a front for antiquities, blah, 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 whatever. The fact that the two people researching this damn thing, which are scholars and I guess, I don't know, doctors, they're just highly educated for the work that they do. Hence, their doctor roles. Hence, Diana and Cheetah. They didn't know a damn thing about it, except that it was Latin. I was like, wait, hold up, what? And if this is a part of your history, how you don't know that, woman? You are a god. But then again, like, I guess those are little plot holes that they didn't bother patching up or whatever. Or maybe they could just be seen in the third movie. I don't know. So when it came to, Maxwell Lord, I didn't mind him turning into the stone and whatnot and able to grant these wishes through the whole contact or whatever. That was actually pretty fine. And obviously you could see from the chaos what it erupted. That made sense. The thing that bothered me is how they portrayed him as, I'ma say it, yeah, as the virus. This pandemic virus, the Ovid. Yeah. Yeah, that's what they portrayed this dude as. I shit you not. Don't you notice how, like, I get it in the comics, it was like that, so it made sense. But in this day and age, the year it came out, at the ending, how this whole year has been for everybody, yeah, he came off very, infectious, so to speak. To the point that it got to the White House. Like it did in real life. Just months before this movie came out. Or the big whole 5G Wi-Fi spreads Ovid thing, right? And what did they do in the movie? That same exact concept. Like, I don't know if they did this from the comics. Like I said, my comic book knowledge is somewhat limited. I know more of the backstories than the actual stories. Because there's so many stories to keep a part of, you know what I mean? And I watch sources here and there, like on YouTube and whatnot, and I read here and there. But like I said, my limited knowledge is it shows in times like this. So I don't know if they had a concept like this in the comic book stories. But it seems very tacked on and forced. Hence, I didn't. Like I said, 5 out of 10. That's part of the 5 that's missing. Let's put it like that. That seemed forced. I'm pretty sure they could have done it another way in terms of a wish. Like, they just used the wish to contact more wishes in terms of touching people. And I like the concept that everyone was like, hey, I renounce my wish, and everything went back to normal ASAP, right? Well, if he renounced his wish because the forced plot storyline with his kid, let's be for real, he was over here talking about with the lasso of truth. Like I said, the lasso of truth was one of the shining moments in this movie for me. But little, let me wrap up Pedro Pascal's, Maxwell Lord. The whole son storyline seemed very forced. Like I said before, it didn't make sense in terms of like all the stuff that they were just like, he only had seen him in the office and out in the street. It's not like he was touting him or whatever. You know what I mean? And obviously, with Maxwell Lord's storyline, it made sense how he's very selfish and self-involved, and only forced that thing upon him, the child. Be like, yeah, this is all for you. Please, come on. Yeah, don't worry. You're gonna be proud of me. Whatever, whatever, blah, blah, blah. All that stuff. And it's like, all right, you could have just had that without the kid. You could have had him just be just real, like Lex Luthor-ish and shit, and still be the same character, be even a stronger character without the kid. The kid was a handicap to him. And let me tell you why I personally believe that it was a handicap. Because when he renounced his wish, thanks to like the beautiful lasso that I highly, I really do like, it didn't make sense. What wish he renounced? He granted tons of wishes, and he took back one in return. Does that all count as one wish, as the movie made it seem? Then if so, if I remember correctly, his first wish was to become the stone. Where's the stone? And trust me, I watched it very intently the second time for this part. Where's the stone? After that, he has a little, oh my god, your dad's a loser, blah, 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 blah. Again, forced, unnecessary. Cut that out the damn movie. To me, the kid stood all night in a damn building with basically rioters and all that stuff. And then he just hops, skips, and marries out of there into an intersection. Like, how the hell did you get from the to that building? How did you get out of that building, to be honest with you, by himself, and got into the highway? Like, wait, what? Like, and then this dude just renounces his wishes, and mind you, where did the stone go? Because then that means he's not the stone, right? The stone and him are separate. Whatever. They didn't talk about that at all. A weak part on the whole Maxwell Lord thing, because he could just kept the stone. He could literally just kept the stone if he was still evil. You know what I mean? Like, they could have kept that going on for like maybe a future movie or whatever the case. Like, I don't know. They could have done something way different than him renouncing Stone Cold for his child. They could just not have the child at all. You cut the scenes with the kids, the movie's shorter. Takes out that forced message that nobody was looking for. That lightheartedness. Because let's be for real, we just saw Justice League. We've seen Aquaman. We've seen the wars and type of fights. Justice League wasn't the best, but you could see all that stuff. And all the graphics and all the animation and all that stuff. And the wars and all that portraying. And then you want to dumb it down for what? You know what? It is what it is. That's what I said. It gets that 5 out of 10. And if you're still watching this video, guys, thanks. Do me a favor. Like I said, you still watching this video, you like what you see, just like, comment, subscribe, and tune in for the next one. I want to keep out churning. I want to churn out more of these videos. So, let me wrap this up real quick. Like, to me, just don't watch the movie with high expectations. Like, certain plot lines didn't make sense, didn't wrap up nicely. You could have just taken on the whole kid. Like, the kid really bothered me. Like, the forced kid thing really did bother me. Like, besides, like I said, the one in the mall that, exactly. The robber tries to throw over, I get that. You could have kept that in there. When she tosses a kid like a bowling ball, you could have kept that in there, no problem. Everything else seemed very forced. And, like, they underutilized Cheetah. Like I said, they could have just made her a strong character from the bat and made her a rival right off the bat. Like, you see the difference in them. But they're both strong and get what they want type of women. Diana gets it through justice and whatever the case. This woman gets it through conning or whatever the case, or being that strong assertive type, whatever the case may be. They did a disservice to Cheetah. From what I know, they could bring her back, which I hope that they do, because as Kristen Wiig, as the Cheetah, when she was turning, like I said, through the metamorphosis, was great. I actually liked that. Even though they did the little toxic masculinity type thing, when she just goes to town on the dude that tried to like assault her, like, wow. I actually liked it, but to dumb it down that way, like, wait, that was it? Like, yo, you could have just had her just ravage this dude, and that was it. Like, yeah, this is the Cheetah we wanted, you know what I mean? But then again, they dumbed it down and did a disservice. But I did like the second half of that Cheetah part, when she was actually turning into a Cheetah. Which, again, she took the second, like, back to the wish. She had a second wish. She was all powered. She wanted to be an apex. I don't get the wording. I want to be something that these people never seen. An apex predator. And then you choose Cheetah. Well, not you chose, but You turned into a cheetah. People have seen cheetahs. There's a documentary on cheetahs. Cheetahs are very personable animals. They're actually shy animals. That doesn't mean, you should go play with it and whatnot. It's a wild animal still. But you chose a cheetah. As something this world has never seen, quote unquote. Like I said, if her wish was to be like the goddess of the hunt or something like that, to be that of a god, that would make more sense of her fighting Diana. When Diana's already powering her, like lowering her power by powering Steve Trevor to stay alive. There you go. You have the power dynamic right then and there. Well, that's what the little problems. That was a long section of little problems. That's what made this movie, like, those, if they would change those up to be a little more, let's say, better, like the whole Steve and Trevor, you hear me? The Steve and Diana arc, which, like I said, when they were on camera together, they were showing that love, and that was very well done. I liked the whole second half of the Cheetah and Wonder Woman, even though I didn't like the fight. And I'm gonna get to the fight in a bit. They didn't show much with, Maxwell Lord and Cheetah, besides he just stole the stone from her, which, like I said, you didn't even need that. He could have just used his power money that acquired the stone elsewhere. Either way, they tied that up. That was fine, whatever the case. She kept him alive and got the second wish. What I didn't understand is, like, why? Just why with that second wish? When you could have just done it in one wish, she could already had the powers, and boom. And, like, I didn't see the fallback on her. Like, what, she lost her humanity? No, there's lots of bad bitches that be doing shit like that. They walk around strutting their stuff. They are stronger than men, whether it's come to physical or when it comes to mental or, like, the way they carry themselves, things like that. There's lots of bitches, females. Lots of females that do that. You know what I mean? So it's not really, a drawback. I didn't see anything a drawback with her. Maxwell Lord's drawback, he was losing himself. He was looking like the coronavirus, let's be for real. And he was infecting everybody. Except that it was just wild. And I get that as a drawback, which is actually pretty fine because it's more comic book oriented. He was like that in the comics. So him, like, taking back what he wanted, which was like your vitality, your health, your lifespan, blah, blah, blah. That made sense. That was fine for a drawback. Like I said, Diana had the worst. Yeah, she got Steve Trevor in someone else's body, and she was losing her powers. And not only she was losing her powers, she was getting her ass whooped by a supposed friend that's basically a god now too. So it was like, wow, like, she has to deal with a lot. And what helped her all in all honesty, was that lasso of truth. And this is the section that I like. The things that I liked. I liked the lasso of truth. Now that one that was like the Deus Ex Machina for the whole movie. When it came to saving Steve Trevor's life. When he was driving the car and she stopped, like, she grabbed the bullet in the highway scene. Like I said, take out the kids. The kids weren't necessary there. Take the kids out. Take the kids out the movie. Jesus Christ. I don't care about the lightheartedness. Like, this is Wonder Woman. If you don't know about Wonder Woman, she killed Superman by punching a hole through the man's chest. Okay? Yeah, where's the lightheartedness? Oh, wait, it is a little light because Superman doesn't have heart. There you go. That's your your lightheartedness. So anyway, take out the kids. That was a pretty good scene, and it showed more that she was losing her power and she's fighting against it. I like that. As she was getting shot, she's getting hurt. I like that. And that lasso of truth, like I said, a Deus Ex Machina, just saving her ass, man. And again, back to the point that she brought a man that nobody knows with a different face that she can only see onto a dangerous environment like that. When you see the dude at the end, he's just like the 80s version of a hipster and nobody knows what he does. They say he's an engineer. What is an engineer doing in the middle of Egypt and a highway speed chase against armed military vehicles and stuff like that? That made no sense. If you'd have kept Steve Trevor, like I said, her feeding her powers to him as a drawback from the wish, then fine, it would have made sense for him to be there. She even introduces him as Steve. So, like, what the hell? Anyway, besides from that, the fight scenes could have been better. They were 50-50 for me. The highway scene was fine. The fight scene in the White House, totally fine. I actually liked that. shows her getting weaker and weaker, and Cheetah just getting stronger and stronger, and shows that dominance over her. Like, that's how you put together, like, yeah, I own your ass, you know what I mean? I like that. That was a very nice scene. And, you know, like I said, Chris Pine being him when that fight scene, ooh, I just learned this. Like, every time he was in a scene, he was just fucking hilarious. The shoes, yes, the shoes. Like, I loved them. I hope they do bring them back. So, back to the fight scenes. In the mall, when they first introduce her, you know, she's doing this with saving the kids and the bank robbers, which the bank robbers was just silly. That was just silly. But yeah, that was fine. Like I said, lasso of truth. And I don't know what it is with the lasso of truth. In many of the fight scenes, it seems like the lasso moves like in a higher frame rate. Like, you know, me being a gamer and whatnot, like, you could notice the frame rate drops. You know, you could tell the difference between 30 and 60. Hell, you could turn the difference from 30 to like 120. So you see that. And that's what it felt like seeing the scenes with the lasso of truth. And it saved her. It became a shield, and she was blocking shit. She was trying to, like, you know, she took way too many swipes at one point, and she was just getting shot up. And the White House scene. And like I said, I like that lasso of truth. I love the golden armor, which again, they could have easily done some stealth shit. I like the way they could have done this with the golden armor, which I think was underutilized. Towards the fight, and you know, she tells him with the lasso of truth how they got everything, how she, you know, came, and how the armor was built and who it was for. How, you know, she went fuck Sparta and she just took on 100 dudes. I forgot her name. Oh god, Wonder Woman. I forgot her name. Oh god, Lord, what is her name? Oh Lord. Anyway, besides that, like, I like how they show that power of the lasso of truth, having being able to do that. So I get how they tied that in at the end with the whole Master Warlord thing. So that was fine. That wasn't really a problem. What bothered me is that she's at her full peak, and that lasso of truth wasn't breaking through wind. Like, yo, you were just literally riding lightning outside, yo. You learned how to fly. Feel me? You came down on a beautiful golden armor. That golden armor was kick ass. I don't give a shit what anybody says. And you gonna sit here and tell me that it can't break wind? Yo, strong ass lasso of truth that could literally stretch any amount. Do more than just tell people the truth. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, what? It was just like that didn't make sense. And they made her weak, how she just cowering in the corner, just please tell the truth, blah blah blah. Like, rescind your wish and renounce your wish and blah blah. Like, they made her weak, which was just silly. Like, I wouldn't say beat the hell out of him to, you know, rescind the wish or whatever, but like, do something different, you know, not just do that. But again, like, that lasso truth was the shit. And I hated one of the fight scenes I just hated, and to be honest with you, it felt very forced and very weird. Was her and Catwoman, you hear me? Like I said, she keeps thinking of me a Catwoman. Her and Cheetah at the end. I love the way she came in with the golden armor, since she knew how to fly, which again, you could have easily just transformed invisible. Like, you see how the AA guns were shooting in the sky, you couldn't see shit? She could have just, like, came out of the sun invisible, like, you'll see like the clouds parting in that, you know, her outline, and then she just turns uninvisible with the golden armor. That could have been a dope looking scene instead of the way it was. It was nice the way it was, but you could just made it way better. And that scene was dark as shit. You couldn't see nothing besides Cheetah being very light, Wonder Woman her golden armor, and the lasso of truth. Why do they make those scenes so bad, so dark? Because the fight scene choreography, well, not even choreography, the CGI is horrible. And to be honest with you, I wasn't mad at the CGI for Cheetah when she stood still. When they had the close-up of like the makeup, the Kristen wig, to me, honestly, beautiful. That was nice. Very well done. Very, very nice. Like, the way they made her eyes resemble that of a cheetah. She had the fangs, and the way her skin was changing, the hair and all that. That was very nice. And even when she was standing still talking to her, it wasn't bad the way it looked. It was horrible during the fight scenes. That's when the you see the difference. Very horrible. And you couldn't see shit. The fight scene, they were spinning in circles. That lasso was making them spin in circles. When she had her golden armor defending herself, spinning in circles. Golden lasso spinning all over the damn place. And then they did this scissor move. Like, you're over here talking about femininity and, you know, toxic masculinity, and that's the type of message you want to get across. Why you put two women in a sexual position fighting each other? Scissoring. With a golden lasso spinning in circles. Then they didn't throw a punch. Cheetah was trying to throw punches, ripping the golden armor out, but they did not throw punches at each other. Like, that didn't make any sense. That was not a fight scene. They were spinning in circles. They were having a pillow fight, so to speak. And this is how you want to represent, you know, women being strong? I'm not saying beat the hell out of each other and draw blood, but you could have had a way better fight. How the comic books showed that. You have two gods, basically. Well, not theoretically story-wise, but from the comic book versions, you had two gods basically fighting each other. You know? And you chose them to spin around in circles. They spun in the water, they spun with the lasso of truth. And how did she stop her? She wets her like a cat. Wet pussy. I just had to throw that out there. Anyway. And then she electrocutes her. Like, I thought gold was is it an insulator or a conductor of electricity? Like, I don't know. I understand she was a god, but wasn't she a god too? Well, story-wise, she wasn't. She was just really strong. But she had the godlike powers of Diana. And she never resent her wish. So why did simple electricity stop her? And again, a very dark fight that all was involved spinning with the lasso of truth. See, aside every other fight, which was fine or whatever the case may be, and I like the effects that they showed when she was fighting, even though she was running really stiffly and weird. I like that they kept that because it was very reminiscent of the older Wonder Woman. Which, again, spoilers, they showed at the end, which was great. That she was still alive and she was the one with the golden armor. I forgot her name. You know, honestly, I'm looking for her right now. I feel so bad forgetting her name like that. Oh Lord, where is she? Linda Carter. So I was right. It was Linda Carter. Okay. Yeah, I just didn't know her character name that she played. It started with an A? A Themyscira or something like that? Well, she was the one with the golden armor. Like I said, spoilers if you've seen the movie. You know, that's what it'd be. Like, I like that they showed her at the end. That post-credit scene, very nice. Or mid-post-credits, whatever. It was very nice. For me, like, that was the good, the bad, and what could have been better for worse with Wonder Woman. 5 out of 10, very average type of movie. Like, to me, they took a step back. Like, what I discussed for past, 40 minutes. Like, it was a step back. And, like, from what I know, you can't blame the studio for that. This is 100%, from what I read, Patty Jenkins' movie. This is the way she wanted to make it, I guess. I guess she could have just taken out all the forced dialogue. When I say dialogue, I mean, like, the forced scenes. Like, the forced scenes with the kids. The forced, weirdly, very reminiscent of COVID thing with Max. Like, you could have done without the whole, like, I'm gonna infect the whole world type of thing. It was weird. The whole 5G particle thing in the White House, that was forced to me. Like I said, the kids, forced, take them out. You could have significantly cut the runtime with these 4 scenes. And you could have put them with something else. If you didn't want to cut the runtime, if you wanted to keep it at 231, you could have kept more backstories. When they showed the backstory of Pedro's, which was fine, because that was very, like I said, very reminiscent of the, no, bullshit. His father was actually a good man, if I remember from the comics. His dad was actually a good man, which committed suicide because he was very honest. He was a very wealthy, honest businessman, and he found out his company wasn't, they were doing something illegal and whatnot, very, very dangerous, and he committed suicide. So I get, like, he was not abusive. So I don't know why they showed that abusive. You could have kept that abusive and changed it, like I said. If you would put the kids there, you could have had Cheetah have the son or the daughter. Put Cheetah with the daughter, have Cheetah with that backstory, with that flashback that she's getting abused by her husband. Hence the reason, that's why she wanted that wish. To be strong for her daughter. That no harm comes to her daughter. She wants to be, you know, animalistic, very feral, and that's why she turns into the Cheetah. You know, you could have done something like that. But after, like I said, watching the second one, just cut the kids out. And like I said, you want to keep the runtime. You could have filled in with a better backstory for each of the characters, fleshed out the story a little more with the wishes. Hell, you could have kept the wishes as it is, because like it was way too many plot holes in this whole wish thing to be a coincidence, unless you just wrote them that way. But for better or for worse, like I said, the movie wasn't that bad. Like it was just very what? Like I said, certain elements didn't make sense. Certain things that did. Certain things were well written. Like I said, I felt the Steve and Trevor. I mean Steve. Oh my God, Steve and Trevor. The Steve and Diana story arc was a lot better. It was very well written. You see them on camera. You see that chemistry. Very well done. Like I said, the second half was with Cheetah and Diana, or Barbara and Diana, was better when they were fighting each other, when they were at odds and whatnot. That was better. Cheetah's transformation, very reminiscent of Catwoman, but I'll take it. I just didn't like it. You could have taken out the whole first half. You could have just shown her turning to be strong. You could have started off from there and kept that relationship between her and Diana as a personal work relationship that they already knew each other, like in the comics. Max O'Lord, take out the kid, keep him as the businessman. I think Pedro Pascal character really benefited from him playing that role. He played it serious, like yeah, you could believe he was a scumbag, and then at other times he played it real, like campy, which gave it that comic book vibe. I actually liked it. Like I said, they all did well with what they were given, even though a lot of them were underutilized in terms of the character writing. The rest of the world is really pretty much the whole world's at war, and all this wish stuff is pretty fucked up. Other than that, like I said, the movie to me, 5 out of 10, easy. I just hope when they do, because from what I know, they're going straight to 3 soon. They do it better. They put more time into the story, a more cohesive, solid, linear story. Like if you wanna, like I said, Justice League 2.0, you've seen that in Justice League, the scenes were done differently by 2 different directors, right? The tones were different. One was dark and gritty. You could see that was Zack Snyder's. One was more light and playful. You could see that's Josh Whedon's, and the dialogue in Josh Whedon's was fucking atrocious. Okay, like ugh. But you could see that contrast when you see the movie. You could see that it felt like 2 different movies stitched together. In this one, it felt like one cohesive writing style and how they wanted to present the movie, even with the executions. But the ideas in the movie, like the kids, the whole lightheartedness, it felt like it came at a later date. Different ideas at a later time. I don't know if she wanted to put that in there, because from what I know, like I said, it wasn't the studios or the execs or whatever ideas. They were this is your movie, you do what you want, you know what I mean? So I don't know what came. I don't even know if this was one full story and that's how it was from the get-go. But that's how it felt. It felt forced, and that these things were done at a later date. Considering how the movie was supposed to come out in 2019. Summer of 2019. You had a whole year and a half to edit this movie, put ideas in whatever, do reshoots. Not that I've seen online that there's news of them, like, you know, Justice League. But yeah. I don't know, like that's what it felt like. But besides all that, like I said, pretty average. 5 out of 10. And the only thing, for better for worse, I just hope that they learn from this when it comes to this type of mistakes and whatnot, and that part 3 will even be better. What? Not even be better, but just be a step up. Hell, like if it's better than 1, which I doubt. Hopefully, I don't know, but hopefully at least be better than 1984, and which was, just don't go in this movie with expectations. If you want to watch it for yourself, just not with high expectations, and just kind of turn your brain off. Even though they're trying to send you a message, which is very weird, forced message, turn your brain off to it. Just watch the movie for what it is, because it's not gonna be really like, okay, I get this, I get that, I get this. No, it's too many plot holes. Like I said, 5 out of 10. It was a fine movie for what it is. Hell, I watched it for free, so I'm not really complaining. It was a fine movie for what it is. This is a very long video. And like considering how that was a 2.5 hour movie, and I kept this down to under an hour, whatever. Now, on to future projects. I want to keep doing this for other shows, other movies, anime, because I fucking love anime. Anyone knows me knows I watch my anime and shit like that. And I want to do little, things like that that I've watched and I like and I want to talk about. Um, During a 12, let's say average anime shows, 12 episodes, like half an hour each. I'm gonna try to keep down this type of review a little lower. It's just because there was a lot to talk about in this movie. That's why it's almost an hour. I'm gonna keep those type of things probably depending around half an hour. And that's up to you guys. If you really wanna, if you like this type of content and you want to keep it shorter, more to the point and whatnot. Because I know sometimes I just keep rambling. It's just because like it's a lot to say, and just try to keep it under an hour. Kind of hard, especially if, with like-minded individuals. I could talk about these things for hours. Hell, you can go from watching, I'm talking about, let's say Wonder Woman to like another DC movie. You know what I mean, and so on and so forth for hours on end. And that's why I like doing this. I like to open discussions like that, whatever. When it comes to other shows, like I'm watching another one on Netflix, which, let's put it like this: the show is 12 hours, basically. It's 12 episodes. They're roughly around 49 to 60 minutes, and there's a lot going on. And to me, I'm gonna tell you right now, a little spoiler: it's like an anime done properly in live action. That's what I'm gonna try to work on next. But I want to keep this up. It might take me a while here and there, but in between, I'm still do my walkthroughs. I'm still gonna do some multiplayer. I gotta get back on that Call of Duty, even though Call of Duty's, whoo, lord. Anyway, to me, just treat this as like I'm not gonna have anything special in the background when I make this video. It's mostly gonna be a commentary audio video. Excuse me. I'm probably gonna have some Genshin Impact, me doing some story missions. Well, not story missions, more like those requests and commissions and things like that. I'm not gonna do anything crazy. It's not anything worth watching. I mean, reading and paying attention to. You could just listen to the sound of my sexy voice. Now, with that being said, for those who keep watching, those who like the video, I really do appreciate it. Just do me a favor, as always, like, comment, subscribe, and they said this is very important, and I guess I'm gonna put it in there too. Turn on your notifications. I'm trying to turn out more of the videos. It's gonna be hard because I do work as well, but there's so many ideas I want to do, and I actually feel good doing this video, even though it took me almost an hour. I'm gonna keep it like this, raw and uncut. That's why I'm actually call it a series, something like that. But you could just treat this as a podcast. This could be the beginning of a podcast, because trust me, I want to get into that too. And like I said before, to my mans who inspired me to do this, I really appreciate you just supporting me through and through. And like I said with that podcast, bro, we're going to get to it. It's going to take some time, but we're going to get to it. Really do appreciate it. So, to those who keep watching, as always, really do appreciate it. Do me that favor. Like, comment, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell to see when the next video is popping out. And I'll catch y'all later. Peace.